What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man, Sauce. How you going, brother?
Good, mate. Good. Good to be back for another week on the show. Bit going on. The Euros is in full action. Some excitement. Some. We'll go through. We'll go in. We'll look at the groups in depth when we get to that part of the show. But it's firming up to be a tight tournament. But I think I've nailed it down to 3 teams that can possibly win. So I'll let you know, ladies and gentlemen, when we get there. But other than that, the AFL, it's been absolutely a week full of controversy. I mean, you got Paddy Dangerfield getting suspended for what is got to be one of the worst suspensions in this whole fiasco that is this sling tackle that the AFL has created with their stupid rule changes, right? If you ask me, right? Which then has created even another level of complexity when you got lemons like Stephen May faking it just to get free kicks.
That was the best.
And he's not the only one, mind you, ladies and gentlemen. There's plenty out there that have done it. It's just, the fire's come on him this week because it was, clear as day and obvious. And obviously they've given him a fine.
They also went on to kick 4 goals unanswered after that. Anyway, no comment.
Yep.
We only lost by 3 points. That was actually the game right there, in my opinion. So, it's a bit cheating. No problem with that. All good.
What can you say, Dom? What can you say? Look, it sucks. Those situations suck. If that's your footy club, because the AFL's come out and given him a fine, so they're pretty much saying it shouldn't have been a free kick, right? In that instance, but it was a free kick, so you can't do anything after the fact. All they can do is fine him, and that doesn't help you because you've lost the game. So it's just. It's
should have got a
rubbish.
week.
It's just rubbish.
Me. But anyway, we can talk about that when we get to it.
We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. What's on the agenda, Doma?
On the agenda, Euros, AFL, some F1 because it was a ripper race.
Cracking race.
The Barcelona Grand Prix. It was very, very good.
We'll talk about
UFC and then a little bit of a hobby talk. So, to finish off the show. But the F1s was a absolute banger this week. Hello, Magda.
Magda, welcome as always.
No, you know where we got to start though, mate. We got to start with the Euros. There's no stuffing around here, that's for sure. And we're going to go back to Saturday because we had a later podcast. Friday we did our podcast.
Friday, yep.
Yeah, so we've got just a couple days of updates. We had Austria defeated Poland 3-1. France and Netherlands play out in a 0-0 draw. Man, France could have kicked a few in this game, that's for sure.
There was some controversy. I think Netherlands had a goal called off that was potentially a goal.
That was a disgraceful call by Xavi Simons. They said that the defender blocked the goalkeeper from making a dive. I just think the keeper was beaten and he wasn't going to make a dive to save it, to be honest. It was genuinely a rubbish call. And to be frank with anyone that's Dutch out there, how Anton Griezmann did not score 5 goals in that game and literally 5 tap-ins is beyond me. I've never seen a guy miss that many gimmies ever. Like, genuinely 3 of them, not 5, but 3 of the 5 were tap-ins.
He has the one where he's tried to just kick it with his right foot and he's rolled his whole foot over the ball.
I know.
He missed the ball.
He had an absolute mare. In that one. And then Georgia draw with Czechia 1-1. That's in Portugal's group, of course. Portugal defeated Turkey 3-0. Turkey should qualify through to the next stage. They should. But we'll wait and see what happens.
We'll bring up the groups in a second and we'll go through them, Doma.
Yeah, definitely. But Portugal were very good in this game. Probably could have scored a few more, to be honest. Belgium defeat Romania. They finally get a win. Switzerland and Germany played out a 1-1 draw yesterday. Hungary defeated Scotland 1-0. Spain this morning defeated Albania 1-0. And Italy and Croatia play out a 1-1 draw source in what was pretty much, it was the last kick of the game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the last kick of the game. Very much so similar to the Germany-Switzerland game where Germany were able to get the equaliser very, very, very late on. You know, allow themselves to top that group in Group A. But this morning, Italy, Croatia, Italy came out with 5 at the back. Messaged you, said this is going to be one of those, the typical Italian job where we just park the bus and try hit them on the counter. But as you said to me, Doma, now these days, when you park the bus and you've got VAR that could potentially, look at any decision when it comes to handballs inside the box, which is what happened this morning. And lucky enough for the Italians, I mean, Donnarumma made an amazing save. It wasn't good enough because they conceded about 2.5 minutes later. Modric with a finish off a rebound shot. Good finish if you ask me, because there was the only place he could have put it up high into the net. Anywhere else, and Donnarumma was there, but they got on top. And it's funny football, isn't it, Doma? Because, Italy had the whole intentions to just defend. But they go a goal down. They're forced to bring on Chiesa. They're forced to bring on some other attacking players. And the whole game changes. Italy, it went from Croatia dominating the ball to now Italy dominating the ball. Croatia struggling to string passes together. And it was just a constant barrage of
corners,
Italian
pretty
pressure.
much corners.
Yeah,
And
Italian
the
pressure.
The other thing too is at the moment, like, you can't go from like the 58th minute when they scored. You can't go from having attacking presence to deciding now we're going to just defend for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't. And they took off like Modric and they put on all these defenders like to try and salvage the 1-0. But, when you're taking off elite playmakers and guys that can make passes and putting on defenders, but then Italy's putting on an elite attacker in Chiesa who, not for anything, they just played the ball through him that many times when he came on. He was just ripping them to shreds. And then Zaccagna, who scored, he was a sub off the bench. He was a super sub. So Scamacca
came on in the 81st minute.
Yeah, wins the game. Scamacca comes on as well. They put on all the big guns at the end to try and win it, and not for anything, they got the win. So, you try and defend 1-0, and the goal that Italy scored was because it was actually a defensive breakdown. They were too far pushed to the center and to the left-hand side of the pitch, and they left the whole right side open, and he's just run through on his merry way. Obviously, Cagliaforti, he's come through and he's just ripped 2 guys, the centre back, and he's gone, and they think he's going to take the shot. So they collapse on him, and he's just played it out wide as a defender. Smart move. You try and play it to an attacker. Gets it to literally on the spot for the attacker who hits it.
First time.
Great finish. Amazing finish. So a lot of people saying very reminiscent of Del Piero in the 2006 World Cup. I've seen a lot of those side-by-sides where it was practically the exact same finish. It's hilarious. So I was having a look at those, and yeah, good memories, mate, from 2006. It's a long, long time ago if you're an Italian.
Long time ago, but look, good. Obviously, good for us being Italians, heritage that we've qualified and finished second in the group, but it's not convincing. Watched all of Italy's games. I can say with confidence that they will not go back to back here in this tournament. They don't have the squad.
Back to back.
They're not playing. They're not playing the type of football that's going to win you the tournament. Yes, they've qualified for the next round, but
and it's a winnable game for them too. Source, like, they can beat Switzerland. It's not like they can't beat Switzerland. So they can literally make it all the way through to the last 8. Is it where I thought Italy would get to? No, I actually didn't pick them to get to the last. And depending on how the draw goes, I don't know who they play after if they win that. They could make it to the last 4. Somehow we've got Italy sitting there in the last 4. And you're just like, and not for anything. I know we say they can't win it, but in the end, Source, like, a team like that, they got nothing to play for. But they got all to play for to win the trophy. But, there's no expectation. That's a team in Italy that could potentially cause upsets. Like,
But I wouldn't say that they, yes, on paper you look at them and you go, they've got the better team than Switzerland. But what I
but
see in Switzerland
Switzerland,
put
yeah,
out against Germany, their ability to press them up and then have those players that can get in behind, in Bolo, in Doi, with the pace that they have. What's to
they
say
got
that
big Jordan
they don't
Shaqiri still
they,
running amok.
they don't cause the upset against the Italians? So
Yeah,
that's not a
100%.
cakewalk. That's not a
No,
cakewalk
definitely not.
as
But
well.
it's more of a winnable game than
Yeah, it is.
obviously Italy coming up against Germany. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that one. But it was a fantastic win. You take it. I had a couple of my mates that like they were Croatian. They're just like, "What were the 8 minutes for?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, but I'll take it, mate." Well, I'm not one to complain for the 8 minutes add on, to be honest. But there was a lot of yellow cards in that game, so the
Well, that's what I
Italians
was
got to
about to
be,
say. You got to remember there was a VAR check in that
yeah,
second half. They had, a number of corners, a number of substitutions, a number
yeah,
of yellow
true.
cards. That all adds on time, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
So,
true.
was it 8 minutes? We don't know, but are we surprised after what the turnaround of added minutes that started at last year's World Cup,
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
right?
That's true.
And now
They say
has
they're going to add everything, so
now carried on, into the Premier League season, into these seasons that had just passed, and now he's carrying on. So it seems as though this is the new norm.
yeah,
Expect minimum, nearly at the end of games, 5 minutes. Minimum, I'm saying,
yeah,
sometimes, as we've seen, 7, 8 minutes. And in the Hungary game the other day, 10 minutes where they scored right at the death
yeah.
to get the win against Scotland. So it's just the norm, right? So I'm not surprised there was 8 minutes, but yeah, look, Italy, lucky, got the job done. But yeah, I don't think they can win the tournament. Dom,
I
we'll
don't
bring
either.
up the
We'll get
yeah, go on.
the if you want to get the groups up, and then
I'll
we'll
bring it
get to
up.
who you think are the three teams that are going to win this. But I'll just quickly get to the games tomorrow: France, Poland, Netherlands, Austria. That's the 2 a.m. games. Denmark, Serbia, England, Slovenia are the 5 a.m. games. And then on Thursday morning, we've got Slovakia, Romania at 2 a.m., Ukraine, Belgium at 2 a.m. And then the 5 a.m. games are Georgia, Portugal, and Czechia versus Turkey. And then you can all sleep in, ladies and gents, because the next round of games start at 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. And Italy will be playing Switzerland. Germany will be playing at 5 a.m. at a TBD on who they're playing against, and then so on and so forth, 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. games all the way through until we get to the semi-finals, which are 5 a.m. games, and of course the final, which is a 5 a.m. game. So yeah, a well-deserved break for those that have been getting up after after Thursday morning. So get your viewing in now and then get some sleep. Anyway, Saucy, over to the groups.
Group A finalised, obviously Germany on top, Switzerland. You got Hungary there, who's finished in with 3 points in third. They probably also have a chance to maybe qualify as a third, one of the top third ranked teams with 3 points. We'll have a look at that at the bottom. You got Spain top the group in Group B, Italy second, Croatia obviously in third, and Albania finishes bottom. And then here we go. We've got these, still got games to play. Group C, England is versus Slovenia. You would think that England beats Slovenia. That would mean that England would probably top the group. You got Denmark versus Serbia. Denmark just needs to make sure that they get a result, because I just can't. I really just don't see Slovenia doing the number on England. Bit of pressure on them. They want to make sure they top the group. They need to make sure they win because Denmark's been playing well and they could come out and beat Serbia. But once again, that game is a toss-up. We don't know what's going to happen. And then you've got Group D, Netherlands and France, Austria, Poland. France versus Poland. You'd think France beats Poland, and that means that France could potentially finish on top. You got Netherlands versus Austria. Austria I think they would need just a result. Hang on. No, because that would mean because they've got one loss, they would actually Netherlands would go through.
But
So
they might.
they'll
But
need to win.
they've got enough points, Austria, to even if they get a result, they might even qualify as a third team.
Correct. So a good result. Obviously, the best result for Austria is for them to win. Second best result is get a draw, because even with the draw, they'll end on 4 points, and they'll also end on a positive goal difference, which will then be better for them in the third place draw. The best third place teams. Group F, you've got Romania, Belgium, Slovakia, Ukraine. All on 3 points. This group is wide open. Belgium versus Ukraine. They need to get the win over them if they want to finish on top of the group. And Romania is versus Slovakia. So, look, how this plays out, I don't know. I'm hoping that Belgium can beat Ukraine and finish on top, because I've got them in our futures multi. So that's what I'm barracking for. But, who knows? Who knows? If we get the Belgium that turned up against Slovakia, where they can't finish and Lukaku's offside every 2 seconds, and, we get that type team, then, they could probably get knocked off against Ukraine. But if they come out how they did against Romania, which is, I'm not sure if you've seen that first sort of 10 minutes, the intensity they had, it was amazing. I feel like they'll be able to get the job done. And then in Group F, you've got Portugal, Turkey, and Czechia and Georgia. Portugal versus Georgia, that's an easy game. You'd think that Portugal wins there. Maybe they rotate the squad a little bit. They do have a +4 goal difference. You got to think that, if Turkey does win, they don't go on and beat Czechia by, 5 goals to then get a positive goal difference over Portugal to then leapfrog them. That's highly, highly unlikely. So Portugal's finished on top. Turkey would want to just at least get a result so they can finish in second. And Czechia and Georgia. Georgia's definitely not going through. I can tell you that. And then the best third rank, Austria's looking good. Slovakia's looking good. Hungary's looking good. As I said, the only thing that's an issue with them is their goal difference. They have a negative goal difference of 3. And then Slovenia, if they somehow pull a result against England and finish on 3 points, maybe they might have a chance as well to go through. And believe it or not, Croatia actually still has a chance on 2 points to make it through. They will need Slovenia
to get belted
by 4 goals by England. So technically they still have a chance to get through, but highly unlikely. Now, Doma, I've narrowed it down to 3 teams that I think can win the tournament. 3 teams.
Okay.
Team number 1, the home nation, Germany.
Ooh, that's a big shout, considering no host team is
playing well.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
There's pressure. Yeah. Playing well. I feel like they need to, as much as, I like Havertz, he's an Arsenal player, and they need to move off from him. They need to play a proper number 9 and not have him as number 9. I mean, they seen, when Falkberg came on, he was a lot more...
Fulkrug,
Fulkrug or whatever his name is. It was a lot more focal point. They had someone who they could cross it to in the air that was, stronger, more dominant, similar to those days when they had Miroslav Klose in the middle, and he would just get to absolutely everything in the air. So I think Germany has a chance to win it. The second team I think that has a chance to win it is Spain. The football they are playing is unbelievable. The way they're moving the ball around the park is brilliant. They've got amazing depth. They've got options galore off the bench. You couldn't ask for anything more. The downfall, what could it be? Really would be their finishing in front of goal. If the likes of Morata gets those chances, we've seen numerous times in the past, he's unable to finish, and he gets chance after chance after chance and can't find the back of the net. He's done it for his club, he's done it for country. So does it happen again in this tournament? We'll wait and see. But the actual football that they're playing is amazing. Lamine Yamal is just going to be an absolute freak. I mean, he's 17 years old. He's ripping players left and right.
He's very good.
This kid is an absolute stud. He's going to be a great, great player for the Spanish team and obviously Barcelona for many years to come. And then the third team that I think can win it, and people will go, how can you think this when they haven't even kicked a goal off their own boot? But that's France, because you can't write them out. They have not even found one bit of their best football. You got to think about that.
And
right?
mate, the baby goat's not even playing.
And
at
Mbappe
the
got
moment.
injured in the first game, and we've seen what they've done in the World Cup, being able to make the final. So, look, I think they're the three teams that can win it. And, if anyone thinks otherwise, let me know. But why I would say not England? Well, they've won one trophy in 60 years. That's pretty much why. They've got a great look. Don't get me wrong. You look at their team on paper, it looks great, but they've won one trophy in 60 years. The pressure always gets to them, and Gareth Southgate's the manager. That's what else can I say? And he's shocking. He's got no clue. He's got no clue how to run that team.
The squad was better in the last Euros. The squad was better at the World Cup. They're in actually a worse off position in this Euros than the last two major tournaments that they've played in as a nation. So that's why I'm not looking at them personally as well. I'm with you on those three. The outsiders just on that, just based on the way they've been playing, is Portugal. And I know you should never put any trust in Belgium, but you never know. You just don't know. Netherlands have actually played some decent football as well. It's just like they played against France. Like there's options there for Netherlands now, so they're pretty good as well. So there are a few outsiders in Netherlands, Portugal.
Yeah, look, I had Portugal there, but I feel like
outside of I don't know. I'm not as convinced.
I'm not that sold on Portugal. Just
no. They're like, who have they played? Let's be honest. They're going to beat up on Georgia next, and then the round of 16 they'll probably get matched up against someone good. So that's when their test is going to come.
And and we've seen Turkey how they perform at tournaments. I mean, they got absolutely walloped in the World Cup, finished bottom of the group. So they're nothing special. And they beat them 3-0, but probably there was many other sides, top nations, that would probably beat them similar scorelines. So look, I've nailed it down to those three teams or nations. Whether I'm wrong or right, we'll wait and see. But that's the three that I think can win the tournament. And that's just based off what I've seen so far, and a bit of history, obviously, going against England there. I think England I think they have a good squad that they could go far. I mean, they made it to the last Euro final, got beaten by the Italians, as we know.
We'll see who puts out on the park against Slovenia in the starting squad. That's realistically, that's what it's going to come down to. Who he starts. We'll see if he takes any advice from us from Double Coverage. I should have tagged Gareth Southgate.
He turned around and said, there's no replace Calvin Phillips. And mate, you literally have Mino on the bench, right? Put him in there.
Fucking Declan Rice in your team. What the hell's the idiot talking about?
You got Rice,
Calvin Phillips doesn't even get a game in the Premier League anymore, mate. He's just a peanut. He's got no idea.
So, yeah, it's firming to be a big tournament. I'll be up tonight at 2 a.m. watching the France versus Poland game, and I'll have Netherlands on. I definitely won't be getting up at 5 a.m. to watch the England.
If you want to join Saucy and message him at 2 a.m., you can catch him on those games. If you want to catch me, I'll be up at 5. I'll watch England and Slovenia. I'll get my second look at England on what they haven't got anything to offer. But anyway, I'll just have a look. But I'd love to see Slovenia win and Denmark win. It'd just be unbelievable to see it happen. It'd be very, very funny. But I think England will bounce back, and I reckon it's a Monty for Bellingham to score, because if he's not scoring, no one's well, him and Foden, really. Maybe even Saka might get on there. So we'll see what happens. Well, I'm with you.
Their quality of play has not been good.
It's been shocking. It's been shit.
The pace of the way they move the ball, very slow. Not good, right? And if they are to do anything in this tournament, that needs to improve quick smart.
Magda says England are pretenders. Kane is too. I love it. Welcome, Adam. Welcome, Global.
Hello, lads.
Saka is a star, and so is Foden. Yes, correct. All right, that's it for the Euros. Let's move on to AFL. Let's come back home here to our code. And it started Friday night. The Blues just smacked the Cats by 63. I don't even need to
Shellacking.
get into this game, but you can get into the tackle if you like.
Well,
Just stock standard tackle, if you ask me. But anyway,
yeah,
wasn't a
that's what
sling
I thought.
tackle, wasn't nothing.
That's what I thought. Just I don't know. Where is this game going? I genuinely think, Dom, in years to come,
It's going to be touch football.
it's going to be touch football. We could be. You might think that we're crazy,
No, it's
but
going to be touch football.
it's getting to the point, right?
It,
That this whole it's like they're taking
setting-
this whole workplace safety situation in
yeah,
terms of, in other workplaces, whether you're a teacher, on the construction site and they're bringing that into football, into a game that is known to be contact sport, known to have constant injuries. And it's the reason why the wages have gone from where they were back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s to where they are today. So I think there needs to be a comprehension and understanding that when you go play this game, there needs to be some sort of waiver signed off that, hey, you want to get this great pay rate to play this game, to bounce a ball, kick a ball, train at the gym, eat healthy, live an elite athlete's life. There has to be some write-off, for these players. There needs to be some sort of waiver because there needs to be protection for the league providing this game or this, spectacle for fans. And yeah, well, I'm just saying,
yeah. And Source is not saying just let all bumps back in and destroy their heads and do all that. He's not saying that. Right? He's just saying all this nitpicking stuff. And the problem is they're setting so many dangerous precedents with all this shit at the MRP that, like, if you make a tackle and like innocuous tackles now could lead to you getting a one-match ban. I thought it was a great tackle. It was just unfortunate, like the way he was leaning forward, Walsh. He went down with the tackle, and his head happened to bounce off the ground. Like, how are you meant to tackle him around the waist? You're taught to pin the arm to get hold of the ball, not tackle him so they can get the handball out. That's what dropping the ball is, isn't it? Like, you tackle them, they get dispossessed, so they either drop it or throw the ball because they can't get rid of it in this incorrect disposal. Or else tackling them around,
they talked about that a few weeks ago, that they made that rule tweak that they were going to give more holding the balls and blow the whistle quicker. Mate, that's gone out the window. I'm not sure if you watched the games over the weekend. From 2 weeks ago, what they were calling holding the ball to now what is not holding the ball. I mean, the Essendon game, Essendon versus West Coast game, was just disgraceful. The amount of calls that went, for both teams that could have been holding the ball that literally 2 weeks ago were holding the ball. The same.
I agree with you. Like, it was funny. Like, obviously, what's his name? Larky got pinned for holding the ball at the end of our game, which was a great tackle and was holding the ball. Then, like, I think it was in the third quarter. Oh, no, it was in the last quarter. Sheasel gets the ball, spins a guy, tries to beat, like, another guy off a shrug, and as he lifts his hand, the guy, like, hits him, like, grabs his arm, and he, like, drops the ball. Regardless, you take on the player. That's holding the ball, mate. Like,
yep. There was one in the Essendon game where the guy took it 2 steps, and his first action was to go for the fend, and he tried to fend the player off, and the player then was, got past the fend and grabbed him. That's holding the ball, if you ask me. I thought if you go to fend off instead of going to lift your hands to release to give a handball, that's your prior opportunity. Because
same thing happened.
You could have chosen to lift your arms up and got a handball out.
Yeah, even like it happened with McVee as well. Like for North, he got the ball inside the 50, and there was a lot of pressure on him at the time. He had the easy handball, and he looked to go give it, and he chose not to, and he got tackled immediately. and they played a ball up. He had the opportunity to get rid of the ball. He chose not to. He should have been pinned inside 50 for holding the ball. And the umpire's like, nah, ball it up. He didn't have prior. The guy was standing, he looked at the player and went to give it and chose not to. So he turned the opposite direction and just got hammered. And it was just like, yeah, ball up. Like, I know it's open to interpretation. People are going to say it's a hard job, but we spoke about it last week. It's not to harp on the umpires and all this stuff, but it's been deplorable this year. And you can keep coming out every single week as an organization and defending the actions. But as we keep saying, the fact that there's video evidence, you can never run and hide. Like, you might as well just own up to it and say we're doing a shit.
There's 4 umpires, Dom.
Yes, it makes it worse. Like I said that last week, one extra umpire means you're going to get scrutinized even more. Because with the extra umpire, you should be making the correct decisions. The fact that you're making more incorrect decisions means that it's a bigger blight on the game. Like, yeah. Anyway, they got a lot of reviewing to do.
Did you see the Stephen May one? Yes, we did, Magna.
So, my opinion in that,
and this is what the AFL's created.
Yeah, my opinion in that source,
changing all these rules, creating this sling tackle,
staging for free kicks is one thing. Staging for free kicks is one thing. Like when you throw yourself back and you do stuff like that. But faking a head injury is a week. The way that they're doing all this stuff at the moment and punishing players like Dangerfield, who didn't even concuss Walsh, and you're trying to nitpick and worry about this person has to do a concussion test during the game because he's had a heavy hit, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And you're trying to get all these things right to then have players faking head injuries. That's a week. It's not a fine. It's a week. You shouldn't be doing that shit.
But not even that, Dom. I said, what are these fines? $1,500. Like you can't. Mate, if you're going to fine him, the fine needs to be, I think, in proportion to their wage. So if he's on a $500,000 contract a year, say $600,000 contract, you should fine him 10% of what that contract is. Right? Something ridiculous. 5%. It should be a significant amount. Right? If the player's on a $150,000 a year contract or $200,000, once again, a percentage of the total contract. You can't have a blanket rule for every player because not everyone's on 500,000, 600, 700,000. You got players on 300,000. You got players on 200,000. So I think it would be unfair, but it should be a percentage of your salary, right? So in that case, probably 650 plus a year, I would say, whatever that might be, but it needs to be significant. $1,500 is nothing to these guys, right? It is nothing. First offense, massive fine, percentage of salary. Second offense, instant week. That's what I would say. That's my opinion.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Vinny, we are well. Hope you're well. Also, Adam said sooner they'll be dressed up in bubble suits, making signs and saying Zoltan. Literally, it's just. Oh, fuck, man.
Soon they're going to be playing footy, running around in those little bubble things.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. At least they'll be able to bounce off of each other.
That's it. No tackling anymore.
Let's get to some of the other games. So Port Adelaide got absolutely walloped by Brisbane by 79 points. Brisbane are going to make finals and they're going to cause problems in the finals. Like, as simple as that.
They're looking good, Brisbane. They're coming back to their, some of their best footy.
Their hangover from Vegas is done.
Yeah, the hangover is done, and they're going to storm into finals, ladies and gentlemen. I can't see them missing the 8. If they play the brand of footy that they're playing at the moment, they'll make the 8 for sure.
Yeah. Swans get the job done against GWS. They're the best team in the league. We spoke about them last week. There's nothing else to say about them. They're just that good.
They got so many good players, man.
They still got like Parker and Callum Mills to come back if they really want them. So. They're stacked, absolutely stacked. The D's get the job done against North by 3 points. Big shout out to Will Phillips, who kept Clan Oliver, I think, to 9 touches. 7 of them were clangers. He just destroyed him. He had a record low 32 Supercoach, mate, in that game. He just absolutely... Everyone thought he's going to step up, no track, and no, got absolutely shut out of the game. So did nothing. I think he gave away 5 free kicks as well, Clayton Oliver, in that game. So he's frustrated. He just played.
That's the blueprint right there, ladies and gentlemen. Tag, no Petrarca in there to help him. Tag Oliver, take him out of the game. There goes, the inside ball winner. And, I think Melbourne
Capitalise
looks
on
like
it,
an easy beat team this year. I'm not going to lie to you, Doma. They're not looking good. And I feel like the D's are pulling the Bulldogs. Bulldogs won their premiership and then they just fizzled out to nothing, right?
Yeah.
After that. And that's what the D's are looking like they're going to be.
Big time. Absolutely struggling. The Sunday games were the Dons getting the 30-point win over the Eagles, which was a good win for your mob.
Good win.
Third
The
now.
only disappointing thing is obviously giving up that amount of points to the Eagles.
To West Coast,
but at the same time, we played well. The Eagles played well. It was an entertaining game. Good to see a high scoring game. A lot of goals. You don't see that often these days. But yeah, look, the belief is coming, Donald. The belief is coming. I mean, we can only beat the teams that are being put in front of us. And as much as people want to say we've got a hard draw coming home, I mean, I had a look at the fixture. Fixture, Doma. And it doesn't look as bad as some may think, right? We got Cats this week, very winnable. The Magpies got a load of injuries. We just drew with them. What's to say we can't beat the Maggies? The
game.
D's, lock that in. I'm telling you, we beat the D's.
You'll win that.
Crows here in Marvel, we beat them over there.
That.
We'll win that. Saints at Marvel,
we've
already beat them this year. We'll win that. We've got the Dockers at the MCG.
Win that.
They got to travel over here. We've got the Suns at Marvel.
Win that.
I think we win that. We've got Swans at Marvel. Toss of the coin, but I'm going to say the Swans probably can get us. They beat us up there earlier in the year. And then we got the Lions at the Gabba, which I would concede as a loss, right? So I'm saying, Dom, out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games we're going to play, I actually think we can win 7 out of those last 9. I actually, the football that we're playing, and you got to remember, we've nearly got a full healthy list, right? We've just got Draper back. Darcy Parish is probably the only player that is there to come back into the side. You got guys in the reserves that can't get a game now. Sardis, Hobbs, who else there? Dylan Shields can't even get a look in this team anymore. So look, good problems to have for Essendon, and I am starting to believe that maybe this may be the year where we can win a final. I'm not saying we're going to win a grand final. I'm just saying we got to win a final, Dom. Just so that prick on Twitter, on X, I should say, has to reset that page back to 0.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, mate. You're playing good footy, and the last game was a Freo win by 20. The buys were Adelaide, Collingwood, Bulldogs, Hawthorn, St Kilda, Richmond. So, you're looking pretty good, mate. Nothing to say that you can't win 6 or 7 of those last 9 games.
So we just have to wait. 5.
Yeah,
good to see.
Package, mate. Who cares? Package.
He's got to kick 5 against the.
If you're ever going to win a flag, mate, it's this year because it's his contract year, like he said. He only plays good in contract years. That's it. If you don't win a flag this year, forget about it. Next year, he's just going to be a lemon, and you're going to get jack shit. So, Global says the Stam rule gets him fired up. They pick and choose when they give the 50-meter free kick. It just pisses me off.
I agree. I agree with you. Remember when they first brought that rule in, how hot they were on the 50 meters and all that sort of stuff, and even the one where the protected space. Now we're seeing guys able to just run past and man the mark. They tell the other guy to run further, and that was 50 meters before, and now they're not paying it. It's like, but Global, the AFL creates these problems because they bring in these rules. The umpires have no clue how to adjudicate it. They over-adjudicate it, and it gets out of hand. You get all the fans complaining up in arms, what the hell's this? You're ruining the game, da-da-da-da-da. Then they tweak it, modify it, and then it's completely nothing of what the rule should be, and now it's just back to the way it was before. We don't have the rule. So why is it even fucking there? It happens every year. I don't know another sport that changes the rules so much. Seriously. I really don't. What other sport on this planet changes the rules so often? It's
I don't know.
actually cooked.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I can't disagree with you because you're on the money. I don't know. They're just trying to be leading edge in everything, mate. And at the moment, they're
They're
leading
definitely not leading
lemons.
edge in score review. I think they need to go
Ugh.
back to the drawing board on that one.
Yeah, 100%. Let's get to this week's games. And Friday night at the Gabba, Brisbane versus Melbourne.
Dom, this could be a 50-plus point shellacking.
This is
Seriously.
the end of Melbourne season right here on Friday night.
This could be 50
Book
points
it.
plus.
Book it.
I'm
Tell me
calling
the
it.
last- tell me the
I'm
last
saying
time-
eight goals plus.
Tell me the last time you saw the D's at $5.10 outsiders. Gamble responsibly. Book it. We're going Lions, both of us. This is it. This is the end of the season. They're 9th. Brisbane are 10th. They're just going to send them. See you later, mate. Thanks for coming. North versus the Dogs, 1:45 on Saturday at Marvel.
Bulldogs. I could be going to this game, Doma.
Nice. I reckon we'll put up a pretty valiant fight, but we'll end up losing this by 4 goals. So in the end, what rule changes can we change to make the rules better? We don't need rule changes, mate. We're going to be good. If you watched us, I know we played Melbourne, but there's some young kids in out. I didn't think Jackson Archer had it in him, but he kept Bailey Fritsch to absolutely nothing. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to give all the props to Saucy because he said, don't worry about the first half of the season, Dom. It's how you finish the season and you're going to be good in the second half. Like, you not like good as in you're going to win heaps of games. You said you could push teams and get a few upsets, cause some upsets in the second half of the season. And not for anything, as I keep saying to a lot of people keep going, oh, you got Clarko, the chosen one, and you've done nothing. Mate, this year's his first year. He's actually coached North Melbourne.
First season. Yep.
This is actually the first year he's coached North Melbourne. He was going to give it away last year because all that stuff about the racial stuff that at Hawthorn. Mate, we got him and we almost lost him as quick as we got him at the football club. Like, I don't think people realise. This is the full season. And if you compare North in the first 12 rounds to the last 3 rounds after the bye, we've won. We lost by a point and lost by 3 points in our last 3 games.
It's a big improvement.
When we're losing pretty much every game by 60.
Just the improvement in your pressure, your improvement in your ability to move the ball down the ground, and
we're taking on the game.
Correct, taking on the game.
We're taking on the game, but in saying that, we're also transitioning back on defense. Before we weren't doing any of that. We're just going forward, and then there was literally just bloody Toby Pink playing back, and he's just getting mauled. But now he's playing forward. So, anyway, North looking much better. I'm happy. I'm content. But they'll lose to the Dogs this week. Swans versus Dockers in Sydney. Well, that's
Swans.
I'm not even going to bother. I'm going Swans. Suns versus Pies. Gold
Suns.
Coast. I'm going Suns also. Crows Giants. Adelaide Oval. Fuck, this is actually a tough tip.
That is a tough tip.
Because Giants are absolutely struggling.
Yeah, they are struggling. Jeez, that is a tough one.
I'm going Crows.
I'll go the Giants. I'll go the Giants to make it.
There's the differential. There it is. Cats Bombers, MCG.
I'm going to back the Dons.
I'm also going to back the Bombers. Sunday at Marvel, Port versus Saints.
I don't know why I'm doing this. But I'm gonna do it. I'm picking St Kilda.
You've lost the plot. I will not tip Saint. I'm tipping Port.
Ross Lyon is going to put on one of his masterclass coaching, and he's going to Port Adelaide's going to struggle to score. It's going to be like 70 to like 64. It's going to be low scoring, less than 150 points in the whole game. It's going to be absolute rubbish to watch.
Oh, it's
But
going to be
St
so
Kilda's going to
bad.
get a win.
There's no real winner for Port and Saints, is Adam. All we're going to sit on this show, double coverage, and say is one thing. Koshi, you got absolutely fleeced. You got fleeced. This guy is the Jake Stringer of coaches. He just put on a masterclass to get his contract, and then you see his true colors once he signed it on the dotted line. That is the ultimate fleece. You copped it. We told you he can't coach. He was like, what's his name at the Giants? You gave him a Ferrari, and he couldn't drive it. But he learned to drive it when his money was on the line.
Yep.
He signed the dotted line, and he's just, can't turn the Ferrari. He's crashing it in all sorts of places. They're shambles. How funny is it, boys? Was worried about taking my boys to North versus Gold Coast and losing them as North fans in a few weeks. Now, not so much. Come on, Roos. Saints,
a chance to win
Saints win, can get sacked, and Port make the 8 to get knocked out. Our cheer squad got Port should go back to wearing teal and destroying the memory of InXS. Oh, copping it. Richmond versus Carlton at the G.
Carlton.
Yeah, I'm going Blues. They're the second best team in the league behind Sydney, in my opinion. And the last game is West Coast versus Hawthorn, Optus Stadium.
West Coast.
I'm tipping the Hawks.
What I seen on the weekend, if they play like that, I'm not sure if Harley Reid's back in. They can beat
no. I'm tipping the Hawks. Perfect. The ladder is Sydney. The top 4, the AFL is licking their lips with the top 4. Sydney first, Carlton, Essendon, Collingwood in the top 4. They are loving life.
Big. This is big.
They are loving life at the moment. They're just seeing dollar signs. Scrooge McDuck. It's literally Scrooge McDuck dollar signs. They're diving into the money pit. That's what they're seeing at the moment. They're like, we can have GWS in there, Fremantle, Port, who cares? Look who we've got in the top 3. Swans have the massive contingency here in Victoria. And then you've got 3 of the 3 biggest clubs in Victoria in the top 4. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Massive.
So it's crazy. That's it for AFL. We'll check it out again next week on the show. Let's get to F1 Source. Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. And Max Verstappen wins it by 2.2 seconds. But I tell you what, Lando Norris, very, very unlucky not to win this. It all came down to pit stops, and it was a couple of 3-second pitters. They struggled a bit, the pit crew for McLaren. And I think that's what could have cost them over time. Just those shitty pit stops. If you had a 2.1 in there, it makes it a little bit more interesting. So he's second, Hamilton third, Georgie Russell in fourth, Leclerc fifth, Sainz sixth, Piastri in seventh. Good finish by him. Perez in eighth, Gasly and Ocon round out the top 10, and then Danny Rick in 15th in this one. But yeah, it was a great race.
Good to see.
It was awesome.
A few more cars finding speed, finding consistency in the season, and it's making races more interesting, Doma.
Yeah, 100%. He's not just blowing them apart. So
exactly, and you know what? If there was maybe an extra 4 or 5 laps, Norris. We thought Norris had the ability to catch that 4-second gap, but he just didn't at the end there. And as you said, the difference was those average pit stops that he had. But geez, Red Bull, they're
hanging on, mate.
I'm just saying, not only is Verstappen absolutely elite driving. I mean, I'm not sure if anyone's seen the overtake he did on was it on Russell to get around him and take first place early on in the race, but just their ability to get their strategy on the day on point. And it's not a coincidence because they do it so often, and we see other teams fail to do it so as often. Ferrari being one. How many times we've seen them screw it up for Leclerc?
He's winning
an
next
absolute
year.
laughing stock. And same with other teams. I mean, Norris, the pit crew not being able to pull a 2-second stop, 2.2-second stop. I mean, that's strategy right there. Not being able to, you have to piece all these things together. It's fine margins, especially, in this sport. And yeah, Red Bull,
Mate, I'm just
amaze you how
telling
good they are.
I can see it. I see the writing on the wall. Ferrari just need to do enough. Try and finish second in that constructors. Make a bit of coin. And then next year, I'm telling you, Lewis Hamilton is going to win the World Championship. I'm just telling you, they're going to get all their money. They're going to say, Leclerc, you're young. We don't give a shit. We know Hamilton's a better driver than you. You make too many stupid mistakes. They're going to get all the money and they're going to put it all into Lewis Hamilton's car. And Charles Leclerc is going to be driving around the big red Wiggles car from 4 years ago. And Lewis Hamilton's going to have this freaking lightning bolt out on the course next year. And everyone's going to be like, what's going on? Leclerc, he doesn't know how to drive. And I'm going to sit here and go, Leclerc is probably the third best driver on the track because he's actually dealing with the worst car of the top constructors because they put no money into it. They're giving him disc brakes and they're giving Lewis Hamilton ceramic brakes. That's going to be the difference. Like I can just see the writing on the wall because I've seen how quickly everyone's caught up to Red Bull now. Because Perez is finished, mate. Like that second car, you can actually see them pumping all the money into Max Verstappen's car to try and win this title because Perez is nowhere to be seen. He's not even up there anymore. He's done. So they're just literally.
I can't believe Perez got another 2-year contract.
They choked on that. They choked. Max Verstappen's gone, mate. He's going to go to Mercedes after next year. That's it. And then it's going to be Mercedes versus Ferrari, mate. Forget about Red Bull. They're done. They're yesteryear's bloody news. Once Verstappen's gone, forget about it. And then it's going to be elite. It'll be Piastri and Norris. It'll be Hamilton and Leclerc. And it'll be Russell and Verstappen. Who cares? It's going to be 6 cars. No one cares about the rest of the track. And if those 6 cars can fight within 10 seconds of each other, it's more entertaining than 2 cars. At the moment, we've got 4 cars going at it. We've got Hamilton's back up there. So we've got Hamilton, Russell, Norris, Verstappen. They're the 4 guys at the moment. And Leclerc on any other week when there's nothing wrong with a Ferrari. So, which is probably once every 8 weeks where he finishes on the podium. Like, they dominate once again every single qualifying. They're up there, practice, they're killing it, blah, blah, blah. Kings of quali, we always said, mate. Wasn't that right, Sauce? Kings of quali, but spuds on race day. Correct. If you're not winning when it counts, who gives a flying, you know what? You can have as many fastest laps around the course in qualifying when it counts for jack shit. So, have it. Just leave it to the big boys on race day. And that's literally what it's... And Norris is really pushing himself into that big boy category because, like Verstappen, if you watch Lando Norris, he has got no fear. No fear when he drives. No fear. He's ready. He will take you on the corner. If you think it's impossible for the overtake, he thinks it's possible. That's exactly how Max Verstappen drives, how Lewis Hamilton drives. And that's why, in my opinion, George Russell and Charles Leclerc haven't gone to that next level because I don't see them have dog in them. All sports are the same, mate. You got to be a nutcase.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit crazy.
You got to have a bit of dog in you. You got to have a little bit. I just don't see it. Harry's got the extra 2 years because the 2 words. Hock to. He sent that chick and he spat on that thing. Is Daddy Rick unlucky or just done? Ever a team to leave just doesn't get... Yeah, he's done at the end of the year. Forget about it, I think. I don't know if he's signed for next year, but he's finished. Next race is this weekend. We've got the Austrian Grand Prix Source. It's 11 p.m. on Sunday, so good timing. Very good timing. And that will lead into the Euros, mate.
Definitely, mate. Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want. 11 p.m., boom, straight into the Euros. It's going to be froth, sports froth, Sunday evening.
That's it, man. I'm going to throw it straight to you for some UFC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just bring it up. We'll go through the card. If you didn't see it, you probably didn't because most people would have been asleep at this hour, but not me, like an absolute peanut, because that's when I went to sleep. When the actual card started, I went to sleep because I was watching I don't know what I was watching. I think I was watching soccer, and then I was watching some darts and stuff like that. But it was UFC Fight Night, Whittaker versus Aliskerov. If you didn't see it, Robert Whittaker, the Reaper, Bobby, he got the win in a fantastic fashion. KO in the first round, absolutely dominated him. If you didn't see it, go check it out. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, Domin, I know you've seen it, but go check it out, Domin. Go check it out, ladies and gentlemen, because it was a crazy knockout. And, mate, I'll tell you what, the odds that they were giving, I think, pre-fight was like $1.70 for Whittaker to win, which is, if you ask me, against an unranked opponent, against the guy Robert Whittaker, I seen something, a graphic, Doma. This was his first unranked opponent in his last 15 fights. So every opponent before this had been ranked in the top 15.
Bloody
so
hell.
he's always fighting the best of the best, Robert Whittaker. He's probably, if you ask me, whoever comes out of the victorious out of Duplessis and Adesanya at UFC, I think it's 305, I think it is. He should get the title shot. Robert Whittaker should be number one in line, if you ask me. So let's see what happens. But Robert Whittaker, great victory, TKO in the first round. Then you had the heavyweight. You had Alexander Volkov defeating Sergey Pavlovich. That was a unanimous decision. He'd done more than enough to get the win. I'm not sure if you've seen after the fight.
Yeah,
Sergey was
didn't
not
shake his
happy at
hand.
all. Didn't shake
Pushed
his
him.
hand. Bad sportsmanship, if you ask me. Russian to Russian, you can't be upset that Volkov was just too good for you on the night. He was just
go
beat
the shit out of each other in the gulag,
that was it.
mate.
Calvin Gastelum gets the win over Daniel Rodriguez, in a unanimous decision. Dana White not too happy with Gastelum. It's the third time he's missed weight in his career, and he came in well over, but they still fought. Rodriguez now gets a blemish against his record, even though Gastelum technically should have been disqualified for not making weight. Shara Magomedov defeated Antonio Tricoli with a third round KO. We always knew that was going to happen. And then Doma Volkan Ozdemir defeated Johnny Walker with a KO. We just run us through it, Doma.
He just sent him to literally the Shadow Realm. He threw bombs.
He looked like he looked like he was. If he had it, he looked like he was laying in a casket the way he was knocked out.
Oh, mate, it was up against the fence and he was finished. He was just gone. He literally put him to sleep.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, though, mate, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Volkov Ozdemir. I've said the same thing twice. Knocking out Johnny Walker. It was a crazy knockout. And then the prelims, you had Nasrat Hakparas defeating Jared Gordon. Mamadov Naimov defeated by Felipe Lima. Rinat Fakarindov defeated Nicholas Dalby. That was a great fight, if you ask me, and it was a lot closer than you may think. Rinat Fakarindov, Doma, the Russian, in the welterweight division, is actually undefeated. I think he's 20-0 or 21-0. And he's coming up. So he's definitely one to look out for. One of the, undefeated fighter. Can he keep the streak going? Let's see. I won't run through the rest of the card, but that was UFC Fight Night, Whittaker versus Askarov. And then upcoming this weekend, June the 30th, you've got UFC 303, Alex Poatan Pereira against Yuri Porchisaka for the light heavyweight title. It's going to be an absolute cracker. And the co-main event, Brian Ortega against Diego Lopez. This is a cracking fight, if you ask me. Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. Lopez an up-and-comer. Brian Ortega, we know what he's about. He's got, he's made of steel. He's got made of a lot of heart. So this is a cracker. And then the light heavyweight bout between Anthony Smith, Roman Dolids. Then you got the women bantamweight, Mayra Bueno Silva against Macy Kierson. And then you got welterweight Ian Machado Gary against Michael Venom Page. I'm going to go with Venom Page if you ask me. I feel like Gary hasn't really proven himself, and Venom Page has got that interesting style that's just a bit different. That's stifles opponents.
You and I are going to be together on Sunday, so we might just have a.
The prelims start from 10 a.m. The main card kicks off from 12 p.m. this Sunday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Check your local guides for what time it starts for you. But it's firms to be an absolute belter. Doma, I'll just give my quick predictions. I'm going with Pereira over Yuri. I feel like what's going to happen, I'm just going to say how this is going to play out. Yuri, we know what he's like. He's a bit awkward. He's a bit different. But I feel like Pereira is going to land because Yuri goes in, right? But I'm telling you, Yuri, you ain't feeling a left hook like that left hook from Pereira, yeah? You ain't felt a left hook like that. So I think he lands that left hook again and he ends the fight with a KO and knocks out Pochazaka. We'll see how that pans out, but that's my prediction. And then Brian Ortega is Diego Lopez. This is a tough one. They've got Lopez as the favorite, but can you? I mean, after Ortega, his last fight, we know he can take a beating, but he's also great at submission. I'm going to go with Ortega. We've seen what a warrior he is.
Adam said that Lopez looks like he's straight out of Dora the Explorer.
With the comb over. And then you got Anthony Smith against Roman Dolids. I'm going to go with Anthony Smith. And then Maria Bueno Silva against Macy Kierson. I don't know, toss of the coin. We'll go with the favorite, Mayra Bueno Silva, the Brazilian, and then I'm going to go Michael Venom Page over Ian Gary Machado. So that's this Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, UFC 303.
Beautiful. All right, Sauce, let's go straight into hobby talk. And I haven't got too much. Well, I've got
not a hell
nothing
of a lot
because nothing's actually happening except for this.
Well, if you want all the controversy, you want all that, the riff-raff and stuff, we've told you. Go down the car, man, watch his videos, comment, leave a like on his videos, comment, and there's plenty to discuss on the riff-raff that goes on. But we're here to talk about the good things that are happening in the hobby, and that is this Sunday, the Hobby Hangout here at the Melbourne Pavilion. Sunday, June the 30th, kicks off at 11:30 a.m. Till 4 p.m., I believe. I believe you can still get tickets as well. So I think it's thehobbyhangout.com.au. You can check out their website. You can also check out the Hobby Hangout. What's their Instagram page? The Hobby Hangout AU.
The Hobby Hangout AU.
So you can go there and there's links there where you can find tickets, but it just tells you there, thehobbyhangout.com.au, where you can find tickets. Firms to be another absolute belter, Tomo. There's plenty of vendors, return vendors, new vendors, and it is the biggest and the baddest show that there is. So there's going to be some interesting things going down. As it mentioned, big Jakey Matthews, UFC fighter, is going to be in there signing autographs. Maybe ripping some boxes. Who knows? We know that he ripped a box with Trident Collectibles. Our friends down there at Trident, big Lukey Gavalas, they ripped a box and they pulled a Messi number to 10, I think it was, Doma, auto out of a National Treasures box. So that was pretty cool to see.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm sure there'll be some big box openings. There'll be plenty of trading. There'll be plenty of buying, selling. So get down there. There's, plenty of guys that are familiar faces, and then there's a few new ones. So make sure you get down there this weekend. Melbourne Pavilion, 11:30 a.m. finishes at 4:30 p.m. And make sure you go hit a Leon Smashburger in the courtyard, because they go down an absolute treat. So that's my suggestion for food, if you want to know my suggestion. But Excited for another
Vinny,
big hobby hangout show.
Vinny says, did you hear about new collab for PSA and Kurt's Card Care? No. Is there a punchline coming after this?
Is there a punchline? I'm not really sure.
I'm just waiting for it. Next up, Source. This is the last thing, to be honest, that I've got for today, because nothing really, no product releases, nothing. But I thought we'd turn it back, and I think this is something we should just do in Hobby Talk these days. And it's some cards that should have been something and didn't become anything. But this is on a buy it now. Sorry, wrong card. My apologies. This is Raw, the card I'm about to bring up. There's a BGS 9.5 here with 6 days left on Shilstein. But this is a card that should have got a lot more love than what it did. Remember this bad boy? You're muted.
I think I can't remember if I think I might have sold it. I had 2 copies of this and I think I sold them.
Yeah, there it is. Have a look at this. The Tops Matrix 03.
Underrated card.
Triple rookie. Wade, LeBron, and Bosch. And you can also get the the LeBron, Bosch, and Carmelo Anthony variant. But we went this one because it had D Wade. They all won a title together. That's why we went for it. Vinny said the Hawk Tour girl ripped that thing open, spit on that thing, shine it up, and bang, PSA 10, never detected. The Three Stooges card, says Adam.
Geez, I tell you what, Doma, this is a big fall from grace. If you ask me, I might actually have to rebuy this card. You know that? Well, look, I'll just bring this up, Doma. Hang on, I've looked up the most recent comps here on 130 Point.
Let me get this
the best free use site by our friend down there, Lane at the Hobby AU that created 130 Point. PSA 9 sold for only 150, mate. That was at one point well up over 1,000. Yeah. PSA 8 sold for 115. You got a raw one here, which on auction sold for only 32. You got a PSA 7 sold for 38 USD. I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, you can go buy your Zions, you can go buy your Wembies, you can go buy your Paolo Bancheros, but you got 3 legends, 3 Hall of Famers, rookies on the same card. They won a championship together. I mean, if you're talking about nostalgia, if you're talking about collecting cards in terms of, the players that are on it, what they did for the franchise, all those sorts of things, I just don't understand why there is not more love for this card.
And rookie. That's all I keep hearing. Rookie. You got to collect their rookie. This is a rookie card, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. So, look, I know the PSA 10 is still quite a bit. I mean, let's see if there has been a PSA 10 sold recently. There's not too many in a PSA 10. The most recent PSA 10 shows here, Doma. Hang on. I'll just show you, ladies and gentlemen, so you know I'm not talking schmack, is apparently 2,500, which was sold on the 27th of March. Shows there. Yeah, interesting.
Not a bad card, Adam. This is the Kobe Bryant Operation Invasion Force Field.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Nice card.
There we go. This is what we like to see. Some cheapies for people to collect. That's what we like to see.
By this AGC 10. Whoa, AGC. There you go. There's a Shaquille O'Neal as well, Source. Have a look at this. So what's the difference between the full oval one and then the one that's got the card at the top? Let's see if we can get that a bit better. Sorry, I'll scroll back up. See how that's a full card, and then that one's oval at the top. What's the difference?
Obviously, one's a die cut and one's just a standard.
I'm trying to
card.
see if it's named on the label. That's all right. It's a sick card though. Good suggestion.
Nice. That's what we like to see.
Check it out. You might see that card at the Hobby Hangout on Sunday. You can pick one up. Adam said he just got one. Very nice. Congrats, mate. Very good. Like to hear it.
All right, Doma.
Oh, Sauce, you got something to finish the show.
We're down to our last thing. We'll finish the show. I found this laying around. You know, Doma, I've ripped it out. I don't know how many of this exact same pack. Hang on,
Never had as good luck as I did ripping 10 of them and just hitting bloody Ja Morant.
You hit Ja Morant number to 99. You graded it. It graded a 10. All right, you got the bonus pack. You got the actual pack. Let's see what we can get. Obviously, we're looking for Ja Morant or Zion. Glock Morant or Zion.
Glock Morant. We want a Glocky.
I'm not even going to waste your time and it's going straight to the hits. Hang on. I've hit a high voltage Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, all right, mate.
Horrendous. That's not really a hit.
That's rubbish.
This is rubbish. Terrence Ferguson green. That's rubbish.
Oh, that's gross.
Kawhi Leonard backstage pass insert. That's rubbish.
Here we go. Just while Saucy opens that, we are going to be doing a pre-record. We're opening some footy stars. We're going to box battle each other, Sauce and I. So that will be dropping within the next week or so. So James says, any Sekou Doumbouya? What have you got? What do you got on there? Yeah, Sekou Doumbouya.
Sekou Doumbouya.
Someone
That's about all it's
that,
worth.
Man.
That's about all it's worth, ladies and gentlemen.
You could get a student loan with that card, you idiot.
Oh man, look, don't get me wrong. I got sucked into the Sekou Sputter hype as well. I bought a few of his rookie cards that are now worth absolutely nothing. I mean, not anything bad, right? Not anything real bad, but just some colored variants and things of that are all they're good for is to start a fire if you've got a fireplace. But yeah, that's it. There you go. I hit absolutely nothing again.
Very nice.
As usual.
As usual. All right, Sauce. We'll wrap it up on that. Keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. It's double coverage. Thanks, everyone, once again for joining. And like, subscribe, and peace.
Peace out.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.